Welcome to Alternative, I'm William Cook, and it's been a while since I've done an album review. I've been having fun with the reactions as of late, but this one means a lot to me. I'm going to be talking about the sophomore album from UK rock band Holding Absence with The Greatest Mistake of My Life. Now, Holding Absence is based out of Cardiff, Wales. They're signed to Sharp Tone Records, and I define their sound as emotional post-hardcore, delivering an immensely powerful, hard-hitting style of rock that holds this atmospheric presence to it that helps give it this larger-than-life quality. I'll say it right off the bat, this is my favorite album of 2021 so far, and it all started with what is currently my top contender for Song of the Year, with Afterlife. It's the second single from the album, and it was the song that brought these guys onto my radar back in January, and I was absolutely stunned with just how much the song was able to affect me. You know, I was just settling into the new year with music coming out of a strong 2020, and I was not ready to find what could possibly go down as the top song of 2021 so soon. It's the type of song for me that breaks through the barrier of what a typical great song does, and it really takes things to another level, giving me all the qualities I could ask for in a song that I'd be happy to show off as my #1 song of the year. Frontman Lucas Woodland's vocals bounce between and even blend the cleans and hoarse shouted delivery for a wonderful effect. The guitar from Scott Carey comes in and out through the verses with a clean and gentle comfort to it, and then goes so heavy with the distortion for the absolutely massive chorus. And the drum work from Ashley Green is pretty much the biggest star of the song, with his rim shots in the first verse, which turn to a snare roll in the second, his fills, and his pounding performance during the hook. He just rages on that kit, and it is very much felt throughout the song. And the song wouldn't be the same without the backing keys that give it that gorgeous atmospheric surrounding. Altogether, it has proven to be a drug for me over the past 3 months, and that climax they hit after the 3:10 mark joins my list of the greatest musical moments I've ever heard. Alright, this review isn't just about Afterlife, there is an album to go with it. I'm not going to go quite as in-depth with the rest of the songs, though. I will say I think they really nailed it with the singles. The lead single, Beyond Belief, has also had me coming back for many repeated listens since I found it shortly after falling in love with Afterlife. This one takes on an overall softer tone. The bass from now former member James Joseph really gets a chance to shine in the verses, while the guitar provides more of an atmospheric touch, along with some lovely synths that add to this graceful presence to the song. I love the bell highlighted on the ride cymbal during the chorus, which takes on this heavenly feeling with these angelic choir-like synths that take the song to an absolutely majestic level. And the way Lucas drops down his voice for the is one of the biggest vocal highlights of the album. This song is definitely another contender for my top 100 of the year. Now, by the time the third single came out with In Circles, I had already pinned Holding Absence as my favorite discovery of the year, having gone back and discovered a few other amazing songs with Gravity, and especially a couple off of their debut album, the single Like a Shadow, and the tragically beautiful and haunting Your Love Has Ruined My Life. Though I still haven't taken the time to actually fully get into their debut album. But yeah, In Circles, like everything else on this album, was in the position of having a tough act to follow, seeing as Afterlife and Beyond Belief were two of the greatest songs I'd heard so far this year. And I was a little unsure at first, but it has grown to be another fantastically rewarding emotional song. I'd say it delivers some of the strongest emotion of the album, in fact, with its swell of a chorus that holds this orchestral sound, and a performance from Lucas that brings me as close to tears as I get on this album. And then quite the contrast, the next single and the following song on the album, Nomoreroses, gives us the most aggressive performance from Lucas that has him breaching into screamo territory in the explosive and distraught opening verse. It has me dying to see these guys explore further into screamo because I think Lucas really has the voice for it. The song can't go without mention of the difference between the two verses, from the heavy-handed first verse to the much more subdued, bassy second verse, which I find is a unique part to this song for sure, but I am more inclined towards their heavy side. And it's another beautiful, soaring chorus that really highlights the band's attention to these atmospheric backings that work so well with the heavy instrumentation. And that leads us to the rest of the album, which, as I expected, hasn't given me anything quite as special as Afterlife, but it has pieced together the singles along with several new songs to form one cohesive group of songs that flows from one to the next, and it creates a beautiful ride for the listener. The ambient opener, Awake, is a fitting title as it acts as a gentle awakening for the album with the soft whispers of I'm Alive. And this leads us into the song to really kick things off with Celebration Song. It's a song about being grateful simply for being alive, you know, coming out of a dark period and seeing the light on the other side. It's a song that doesn't follow the formula of verse, chorus, repeat, and though I do tend to gravitate more towards that straightforward structure, I just have so much respect for this song because of its overall emotional power. You know, there's not too many songs I find I can connect with on a lyrical level quite like this one, and it also matches that lyrical power with a smashing instrumental delivery that really does not leave me any room to get bored. They bring in a more driven energy with Curse Me With Your Kiss, a track that really has me grabbing onto the bass guitar. The stomping drums sound great leading up to the chorus. The instrumentation throughout this album really just comes through so well. This one has the big drop-in chorus that lands a good punch, but I do find it a little shy of what really gripped me about some of my favorite moments on the album. It gives you a rather epic bridge into the serene outro, which is very pretty, but my favorite part about this song is how it flows right into Afterlife. I absolutely love how this album flows from one song into the next. And then there's Drugs and Love, and I'd say this one goes down as my favorite of the deep cuts. The chorus just flies at you on this one, and I think it's one of Lucas's strongest vocal showings. You get the bassy verse, which holds this dark mood, and it does a great job at contrasting with that flying hook. Ultimately, I'm drawn to this one for its dark, heavy edge. Lucas mentioned some Deftones influence in an interview with Rock Sound, and you can definitely feel that. And I find the hook just provides the strongest melody of all the deep cuts. Drugs and Love also introduces some spoken word from a female narrator, which adds another dark layer to the album. You hear it featured on Die Alone and the Phantoms interlude as well. There are apparently 3 poems that were written from Lucas based off of true stories that he was told on Reddit when he asked people to share with him the greatest mistake of their lives. And then we got our next deep cut with Die Alone, In Your Lover's Arms. This one featuring Lucas's sister. Looks like singing runs in the family. Now this one's pretty emotionally heavy, as the juxtaposing title suggests. It touches on finding yourself further down the road in life with a partner that you realize wasn't the right choice for you. Like being on your deathbed with all of these regrets, something I'm sure has been reality for a lot of people. Musically though, Lucas and his sister sound great together. They pull off a slammer of a chorus, and they finish with this overlaid vocal outro that sounds like a very classic emotional rocker type of move, executed very well. And they saved the most emotionally distraught song for last with Mourning Song. The other bookend of the album with Celebration Song being about celebrating your life. This one's more about mourning the loss of another's, but also living your life to the fullest in honor of that lost life. It's a gut-wrenching performance from Lucas, who really just throws all of himself into it, sounding like he's about to break down during the shouted chorus. You can hear him gasping for breaths between lines, and it is just an unwithheld performance that is hard not to appreciate. You know, not a big, fun sing-along, but it definitely leaves a mark on you at the end of the album. Though they do give you one final piece of music to ease the tension from Mourning Song with the title track, which has Lucas performing on a piano, performing a cover of the song that inspired the album's title. It's originally from an artist named Gracie Fields, recorded all the way back in 1937. It has a vintage sound to it, and it acts as a lovely little send-off to the album. Lucas said it was inspired by one of his all-time favorite albums, and one of mine too, the classic Black Parade from My Chemical Romance with their hidden track, Blood.
The greatest mistake of my life.
And that's it. This album goes down as the best album I've heard so far this year, and it simply comes down to the sheer heavy emotion that is carried throughout these songs. It's very rare that I can find an album that I can ride the vibe of from start to finish, quite like this one. I've rated each song, I've crunched the numbers, and I have settled on a final score of a near perfect 9 out of 10. That's gonna wrap it up. I'm not doing as many reviews as I was when I started this channel. I've turned into doing more reactions. They take less than half the time, and they usually get tons more attention. These reviews, you know, it's hard to pull in the viewers sometimes, and if you've been able to sit through this one, totally appreciate you checking this out. I have a lot of love for Holding Absence, and I really wanted to be able to share my thoughts on this sophomore album, and it very well may go down as the best album of the year. I'm continuing to write mini reviews on the albums I'm listening to and share my ratings on my Instagram if you want to check that out, but for the most part on here, I'll be doing reactions with the odd review here and there when I do have time for that. But thank you so much for checking this out. Love a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Hit the subscribe for more alternative content, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to chat. I'll see you next time.